Okay, my name's Tommy. I'm the singer of a band called The Wrath, and we'll be playing on the upcoming festival called The Other Festival at the Tivoli in a week.
Yes, you will, mate. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, man. So as you say, The Wrath is set to appear at the Other Festival on January 28th alongside COG, Osaka Punch, Mind's End, The Stranger, Rhino, Sky Raid, and more. So she's not a bad lineup, mate, to be playing on.
Yeah, it's a good one. A bit of a mixed bill too. So there's all sorts of different things on there. So looking forward to it.
That's actually a good point. Like, that was the next thing I was going to go on to. Like, one thing that does stand out is the different styles of all the bands on the bill. Like, there's a bit of something for everybody, which is good. Like, a lot of festivals try and put the same sort of music on all the way through. It does become a bit repetitive, but the other festivals mix it up a bit.
Yeah, no, that's good. I always believe in a mixed bill's always better. Just makes for a better day, a better gig. Brings different people out, more people out. So I think it's always good.
For sure. So what does actually playing at a festival like this mean to the band, mate?
I guess it means that it's great to be playing with some of those bands. So it's sort of, I guess it makes us feel like we're doing the right thing, and we're we're doing well to have people ask us to play alongside people like that. So we've never played at the Tivoli before after all these years, so pretty excited about that. So yeah, let's have a good time on festivals. It's a good time.
Yeah, damn straight. And you released your most recent single, Wrong Side, back in August of last year, man. So how was the reception for that one?
It was good. It's been a while since we put something out, so it went really well. We did the video ourselves, which took a little while, and I guess it was a weird time for everybody in the music industry, obviously, over the last couple of years. So that was a bit of a stop-start. We didn't really know what to do or how to get together or all those sort of things that everyone else was having trouble doing. So we embarked on putting an animation together, and I think we bit off a little bit more than we could chew at the top. When we started hooking into it. But we got to the end. So yeah, it was a longer process than what we initially thought it would be. But yeah, all good, all the same. We're really happy with how it turned out. Yeah.
And then is that a standalone single, mate, or is it part of a bigger album or EP picture?
Not sure yet. Not sure. It was originally just going to be a standalone, but we're back in the studio next month, so we'll see how we churn out. We've got a lot to get through, and it may end up on a longer player. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So are you the sort of band that when you go in the studio, do you write in the studio, or do you have everything prepared when you go in there, and so you know what you're doing?
No, we're pretty prepared before we go in, just to save time, basically. In a perfect world, it'd be great to lock ourselves away for a few weeks somewhere and just have that the only thing that we think about and work on and sleep and eat and breathe it. But yeah, where everybody's at in their life now, it's not really possible. So we write before we go in, and we'll demo. I've got a studio, I'm sitting in it now, and we'll demo at home. We'll demo in the studio that we rehearse in, and be as prepared as we can, just to save time, basically. Yeah.
Well, so judging by that, the fact you say you're going into the studio soon, and what you just told me means you've obviously got a bit of stuff already written then.
Yeah, we've got about 4 or 5 songs that we're pretty happy that are ready to put down, and I think the plan is we'll just keep chipping away and just see what we come up with. So yeah, I reckon an album's not out of the question, but definitely an EP's worth already. But we'll just see how productive we are in there and see how long it takes. But I would like to put out another long full length this year, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Cool. And those songs that you say you've got written, mate, like are they what people would expect from the Wrath, or is it going to be something a bit curvebally there?
No, they're different again. We've road tested a couple of them live. We'll be playing some of them definitely at the other festival. Yeah, different again. It's not really, that's the kind of challenge of what we like to do, is to challenge ourselves to write a little different and come up with some different vibes, different feels, and yeah, so I think these ones are definitely different again.
For sure. And Rat this year celebrate your 20th anniversary, bro, starting back in 2003. So you got any special plans?
Mate, you just reminded me. It's just a number. Yeah. Not really. Not at this stage. I just I'm not really that kind of person to keep tabs on years and numbers. But you never know. We might do something. But yeah, it's a fair while to be playing in a band.
Oh, shit, yeah. So like that's the same, man. Like,
Yeah.
you do the math and it makes it sound old, but it means you formed back in 2003, man. So what was the early vision for the Wrath back then, and how has it changed since?
The early vision was really it's still the same. It's just an outlet to be ourselves, to not really box ourselves in. If we enjoy writing or if we write something we enjoy playing, we'll do it. There wasn't really any we didn't really put any restrictions on what we were doing, if that makes any sense. So and that's kind of why it's been hard for a lot of people to sort of slot us into what we do. We've kind of created our own sound over the years, and we can play alongside bands like COG, and then also hardcore gigs, punk gigs, rock gigs. We've played with just about anyone because we don't really fit in with anybody, but we kind of do.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
And the music scene's changed a lot over those 20 years, mate. So are the Wrath band, like, have you tried to sort of change with the times, or have you sort of more stuck to your own path?
I think we've just naturally changed as we've grown up, and gotten better as musicians, and just different life experiences. We've changed in that sense, but not nothing. There's not something that we've followed or followed trends or in that sense. But we've definitely, and yeah, I think it's just the band's grown with us as we've grown. So how we use it as an outlet has probably changed with our becoming better musicians, or how we write songs, or what we're just going through, or how much time we can put into the band. It goes up and down. Yeah. So the band has changed, and we've had really, really busy years, and some years where we haven't done a lot. And yeah, but it still serves the purpose of an outlet to be ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So it's sort of loosely describe, man, like your music blends punk, rock, metal, rockabilly, hardcore. There's a bit of goth, there's industrial elements, man. But it's a hell of a blending of genres, man. Like, how did that come around back in the day? Like, did you just keep throwing shit at the wall and whatever stuck you went with, or?
No, I think essentially all our influences are in there. There was a kind of a vibe that we wanted to create. It's an aggressive outlet, so it was always going to be something that was a bit harder. And having a double bass in the band, I love psychobilly and that type of genre of music, but you can't find many people that play double bass or sort of see my vision of what I was writing. So we had just a normal electric bass for a while until the Count come along. He's been in the band for a long time now, but that also changes what we can and can't do, as in music writing as well. That the double bass does what it does. It doesn't. But also there's rhythms and stuff that riffs are suited to. Or songwriting suited to. There's some things that you can't do with a bass, or with a double bass, or how he wants to play it. Also, he's not interested in being a traditional double bass player too, So this is a great outlet for him, where he's never thinking of traditionally how a double bass should be played, So yeah. So yeah, but we're lovers of melody and those sorts of things. So melody is a big thing that we think about when we write. We have to be able to sing it. It has to be catchy. We still like those things as well. Yeah.
Wow. And one thing I've always sort of wondered, man, like with bands like yourself that have got so many genres that you're at your disposal and you mix, like in the writing and recording stage, like how do you know where the balance is for each? Like, how do you know if you've gone too far with one genre or not far enough? Like, is there a system?
Not really. Not really. If we like a riff, or we'll get together, we'll write, or someone like myself or Dino or Karina will bring something to the band, and we'll play around with it. And if we like it, we'll run with it, record it. Usually pretty quickly you can tell if it's going to suit the band or whether it won't. But yeah. There's no, I don't feel like there's any like preconceived what we're going to write. We just write stuff, and I guess over time we've developed our own sound too, so it does fall under that, you know, it does fall into what we do. Yeah, so no, there's no. I usually just think about the drums or like how we want to make people move to begin with, you know, like, you know, how are we gonna, is this gonna be fast? How are we gonna make people jump? You know, like a feeling of how this is gonna move people. That's how I sort of start demoing things. Yeah,
Very
and
cool.
go from there.
Very cool. So away from the music a little bit, or this might be a little bit about music, mate, but you guys recently finished a residency spot at Movie World's Fright Nights, man. So sounds interesting. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Okay, so before a couple of years ago now, we were approached by Movie World. They have, over the month of October, they have this Fright Nights event. That's a separate event at night. They have all this crazy stuff going on there. The whole of the park's done up for Halloween, different mazes that they go. It was insane to actually see how huge a production it actually is. But they approached us to be a band that performs there. I thought it was a bit of a joke, to be honest, at the start of it. You know, what's going on here, you know? Anyway, it was for real, and it got postponed a couple of years, as I said, because of COVID. But last year it went ahead, and we went for it. So it was just us. We did 4 sets a night over the 9 events, and we had this crazy production that we've never ever be able to afford. You know, all the fire and the smoke and the pyrotechnics and all this sort of crazy stuff, and all these, you know, all these zombie actors and stuff. And it was a great experience because that corporate world sort of stuff's not something we've played in before. You know, it's not something we've done. But we weren't given a brief on what to play. They just said, "Be yourselves, use your originals, do it." You know, they gave us no restrictions on what we could do. Yeah, so we just played 4 sets of our own stuff, and it was great. You know, it was great exposure for lots of people who would have never ever otherwise seen a band like us.
Yeah, that's cool. And is it sort of thing, they're going to have you back
you
every
know,
year?
yeah, people that don't.
Right.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
I'd do it. Yeah,
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
yeah. If we could, I'm sure we'll work something out. Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, it was definitely a pretty wild experience, and I think we're better as well. You know, like performing for 2 hours a night isn't something that we're used to as well. So to push ourselves to actually do that was yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, although, you know, the first night we did it, we probably looked at each after the first set, we were definitely looking at each, what have we signed up for, you know. But so we improved in that sense, you know, like that was, you know, it's and that's, you know, like I was saying, that's the purpose of the band. We're challenging ourselves to do things, get out of our comfort zones, try different things, and but also be allowed to be ourselves. You know, I'm not sure if we would have done it if they sort of said, "Hey, here's 40 covers that we need you to do," or, you know, you should, or wear this costume or something. I don't think we would have done it. But because they just went, "You guys do you whatever you want to do, you know, make it your own songs, dress the way you dress, whatever, you know." So that's, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Like you say, normally people like that, they're bringing you in and they want you to be a specific thing, but the fact they let you be yourselves is rare. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool opportunity, and yeah, we met some great people there, and yeah, I was actually surprised to sort of say, you didn't, you know, like obviously we've had conversations and emails, and you know, but I said, you really didn't vet us. Like, no one came to a show and really checked us out. Like, we could have been, you know, like this could have been really bad, you know, like, or, you know, like I was really like, and they're like, yeah, you know, because I said, what did you actually do? You know, like, you know, there's a lot of bands I think that wouldn't have been able to play for 2 hours. You know what I mean? And I was like, geez, like you really had some faith in us. That was great. Thank you. You know.
Good on you, man. Good on you. All right, Joe. Well, thanks very much for the chat today, man. It's been a pleasure, bro. You will be appearing at the other festival on January 28th at the Tivoli alongside COG and Osaka Punch and plenty more. So have yourself a fat time. Yep. We'll catch you in the future.
Oh, I will. Thanks so much for having a chat, and hope to see you there.